Hi. So, a lot of things are going on. Let's talk about Julian Assange. As I'm sure that you're aware, he has been arrested by the British police, and they're breaking the law just to bring him to the US. So that's very unfortunate, and one wonders, Tim Pool has asked this question, are there going to be any dead man switches that are going to activate? Now, as many of us are aware, he hasn't had internet, so the question is, what does it take to get the dead man switch to activate? Who knows? So that's a thing that's going on, and we need to pay attention to what's going on, because don't trust anything. And for all we know, he's going to end up like Bin Laden, right? No one will find the body. And in truth, he might just be held at a black site for the rest of his life. Who knows? All right. So there's that. What else is going on? I'm sure you're aware about the transgender movements, the trans rights activists, who are encroaching on territory that they shouldn't. And one of those areas is convincing our congressmen in the US to push through a bill. And apparently, I think this is who was it that posted this? Hold on, I want to get this right. I believe I shared it on Twitter. It was from the Daily Caller, which I don't give them much credence, but I believe that this is a genuine article, at least the information in there is genuine. They talk about the Equality Act, and the Equality Act basically rewrites some of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and specifically it rewrites it so that sexual orientation and gender identity are protected characteristics under federal anti-discrimination law. What this means is that transgendered individuals may not be discriminated against on the basis of gender identity. So what people are worried about is that it means that you're going to see the law on the side of trans athletes. And so now everyone is afraid of trans athletes. Now, my comment on this, of course, is, I'll just read it to you. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, you'd think we'd at least have a conversation about this. A forum, a congressional hearing, something. Nope, this is settled business, according to our congressman. No chance this will bite the Democrats in the ass. At real Donald Trump, second term, here we go. So that's the thing. Donald Trump is sure to win if the Democrats keep pushing this shit. And this is, I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, being transgender, but the fact is, we do need to have a conversation about this. Now, do I think that they're right, that transgender women shouldn't be competing in sports? I don't know. I really don't know, and that's why we need to have that conversation, because we don't know to what extent transgender women may have the advantage. It might not be universal. For one, obviously all bodies are different, right? The same could be said between just men in general. Like, men competing against one another have different bodies, different skills. That's a fact. Same with women. And same between men and women, and same between cisgender and transgender, if you believe even in using the term cis. Point being, trans women are different than genetic men, generally speaking, and that's generally because they are taking hormones and or hormone blockers, but that might not be enough. Furthermore, there are other things going on too. If you're male to female, you probably have bigger bones. you're just bigger boned and higher bone density. You also have a different fat distribution. And let's just say, suffice to say, you have a higher chance of being better suited for engaging in sports. And it makes sense because we have a long human history of giving males the role of fighter and women as protector, right? Women are the nurturers and men are the ones that go out and hunt, right? And now, obviously, that's not all of human history. I mean, for a long time, in the last few thousand years, 10,000 years, we've been vastly farmers, but we still needed a warrior class, right? And that's what sports is all about, is the warrior class. It's embracing that part of humanity that still has those primitive inclinations. And it's good to be competitive because it applies in other things as well. How you do anything is how you do everything. But the thing is, transgender women may have advantages. We want to know what they are. Genetic females may have advantages. We'd like to know those too. But we're not going to have that conversation because our congressmen and women believe they know better. So the Democrats have put forward this bill, apparently, and it's probably going to get shot down. But it might not. And even if it doesn't, all Donald Trump has to do is say, see, these people over here, these who sponsored the bill, who may be running in 2020, are absurd. They thought that they knew better than the American people or better than scientists who have conflicting data. And so that's where we are. Donald Trump is a shoo-in, basically. Okay, that aside, let's go to something else. I saw something interesting, and I'm going to share it with you. It's kind of gross. So, someone on Facebook who isn't exactly a friend, and I disagree with him because I'm pretty sure he's a racist, and he's a huge bigot. But I keep him around just so that I can get an insight into an in-group that I don't want to be a part of ever, but I want to understand. And let me just show you real quick. Okay. Alright, so this is what I'm seeing, right? You're probably wondering what the hell you're looking at. I'll tell you in a second. Okay. So my camera doesn't fall. I have it on a very precarious perch. Okay. What you're looking at is a post of ice cubes with V8. And apparently there are transgender women who are putting this inside their bodies on a monthly basis so that they can simulate flow. And some have recommended taking laxatives that would create cramps and simulate the cramps that genetic females endure during their menstrual cycle. Now, I'm sharing this with you because a lot of people think this is gross, this is creepy. The person who shared this said, slippery slope isn't a fucking fallacy when you're playing color the fucking numbers. Now, this is not surprising. This guy is anti-trans. Anti-lefty in general. And of course, many of us trans are on the left, but not all of us, and that's fine. We're diverse, and that's a great thing because it means that we're not homogenous. We're not all an echo chamber. It means that we can come up with solutions that others might not. You want diversity of ideas, not just diversity of the superficial. That said, the thing is about this that I share with you some people are going to say it's gross. Some people are going to say it's really twisted. It's psychotic. And while I understand why they'd say that, I don't think it's looking at it the right way. I think for those that think that being transgender is just some sick, perverted thing, it's not. At least not for everybody. For some, there's some of us who really desperately want to be women. And we feel it in our hearts, right? We know who we are, but the argument is that you haven't been through what we've been through. You don't have our experiences, so how can you be a real woman? Well, some trans women are apparently willing to go through simulation to know what it's like. And they'll put themselves on a routine, a monthly routine, just enduring agony, just so that they can get some sense of what a genetic woman goes through. Because they don't want to be excluded. They want the real deal, the whole package, for better and for worse, right? So to them, I say, kudos, congratulations. You're trying. You really, really commit to this, and that means it's not just some kind of sick, twisted, sexual perversion necessarily. I mean, certainly there are autogynephiles, but I don't think that's what we're looking at. I think we're looking at people who are seriously committed to the feminine experience. And so, while I've never done anything like this before, I can certainly understand why. So, I think that's something interesting. Yeah, so if you come across this on the internet, don't judge so negatively. Just understand some of us are pretty damn desperate to experience something like that. I'm sure if you follow me, then you know that I've done some desperate things too. Nothing like this, but pretty damn desperate. Alright, on to other things. It's been a while since I made a decent video. Obviously that joke video was just a joke if you saw it. It was filmed using, what's it called, Snapchat. And that's pretty much the only reason I have a Snapchat, just so I can make these tiny little videos. I did this, not the OK sign. I'm not a white supremacist. And this is still not a white supremacist symbol. Got it? Although someone's going to take a screen capture and say that it is, and say that I'm a white supremacist. Nothing you can do about that. They did it to Blair White too, so c'est la vie. Alright. Alright, on to wasting some more time. So, what else do we want to talk about? I'm going through my Twitter to see if there's anything that I posted of relevance, just so that I can touch base with y'all, because it's been forever. Oh, so don't know if you know who Stephanie Hayden is, but she blocked me. Yeah, she's not a nice person. She just flat out blocked me. One of the things I told her is that she and other transgender women like her are part of a vocal minority, and this is true. The reality is some of the most obnoxious trans rights activists who want to shut down free speech, they are a minority, absolutely. And those of us who actually believe in freedom of speech and actually support women's rights to most especially include cisgender women's rights, and sympathize with them to the point where we don't want to intrude and take away anything. We don't want to just auto-include ourselves in their spaces. I think it's important to realize that we exist, and we may very well be the majority, but we're silent by and large. Why? Because most of us are terrified shitless that one, will be outed as trans, and some of us are stealth I absolutely could be stealth if I wanted to. I don't because it doesn't do any good. And what I mean by that is, one, people tend to Google me and I can't erase my history, and two, I'm not doing a service to my community if I do stay hidden. Besides that, there's the bullying. There's a lot of online bullying. So if you speak out against people like Stephanie Hayden and other obnoxious TRAs, then you're going to have the wrath of the internet on you. So people like her and Rachel McKinnon, they've blocked me, both of them. If you know these names, if you don't, that's fine. What else? Oh, I had done an interview with Benjamin Boyce. I don't know if he's going to upload that. I'm not sure if the things I've said make him timid about putting me out there. I do come off as crazy sometimes, conspiratorial even. So maybe he doesn't want to show off the wall people like me, and that's fine. But if and when he's ready, then I'll be happy to share that video. Maybe even link it with some other videos. And if you don't know who Benjamin Boyce is, well, let's just say that Benjamin Boyce is the Jane Goodall of transgender people. So what I mean to say is he's done a very good job trying to get to understand us. And he's interviewed people who are MTF, FTM, and non-binary, and even detransitioned. He wants to get the full story, and he is legitimately pursuing that goal, free of bias. He does have bias, but not in the interviews. He's asking sincere questions, and that's really great. All right. What else? Oh, so this is something that I had observed. I don't really get onto Reddit, right? I created an account years ago, did nothing with it, and I mistakenly, or out of a poor sense of judgment, put it under an old pseudonym, and I can't seem to get rid of it. And if you know how to do that, how to change your handle on Reddit, please let me know. Otherwise, something I notice is that if you go to Reddit/trans, I think it is, /r/trans, you're going to find a lot of kids there. And that, to me, is disturbing. And that's something I want to talk about real quick. I don't want to waste all your time, so just be a few more minutes. There are a lot of children who post in this thread, or not thread, this little forum, this topic area. I don't know how Reddit works. I don't use Reddit, but I did just recently start trying to look at it. But yeah, so in this r/trans, you see a lot of children. And when I say children, I mean some of them look like they're 12, right? Maybe younger. Some insist that they're older, but if you look at them, they really look young. I know for a fact many of them are minors, and so the thing I want to understand is, why is it we have minors engaging in dialogue with adults? Because it seems to me that this is an area where you really want to have age-appropriate groups talking to each other. And that's what I don't see. Is what I actually do see is a bunch of older trans people talking to these kids, encouraging these kids, and some of them might not even need to transition. If you know anything about rapid onset gender dysphoria, then you know that some people might just not be understanding what's going on in their bodies. And they might not understand the hormone changes and whatnot. Some of them will end up developing into just gays and lesbians, and it'll be a phase that just passes through. While others, the gender dysphoria sticks, and it haunts them for the rest of their life. So I understand the argument of, no, we should absolutely let these kids transition, but the reality is a lot of these kids really are confused and they don't know what's going on. And I feel like having adults who aren't taking that into consideration and are just encouraging them might actually be leading them down the wrong path. So that's a thing that I wonder if Reddit's ever going to address. Yeah, I think that's it for now. It's been a while since I made the videos, so that's it. I'll try to get back to you guys on a more regular basis and have something useful to talk about, something interesting, but that's it for now. Have a good night. Bye. I say good night, actually. It's morning, but it's my nighttime. I'm a night person. Bye-bye.